are solved, while others only gratify when they remain mysterious. The Loch Ness Monster is like that. Maybe no one really wants to know what is or isn't down there, although it's not for lack of looking. This month, yet another group of scientists are probing the Loch's depths, and last fall a permanent research station was established. It's a legend that's been passed from generation to generation in the hills of the Scottish Highlands. There's been a time before this, and there was no great body of water where you see Loch Ness and the Green Mountains. There was just a green valley. The only water there was a spring. Until one day, a young woman who got to draw water at the well heard her baby crying in the house. And she disobeyed the one rule that the people had to observe, which was, when they drew water from the well, they had to replace the wooden cover that was on it. Otherwise, the druid priests had warned them, disaster would overtake them. But what mother could ignore the baby's cry? She dropped her bucket, she ran to the house, and the water continued to rise from the spring, and continued to rise from the spring, and higher and higher and higher it rose and spread out all over the floor of this beautiful valley. And the houses became far distant. The people had to retreat to the surrounding hillside with such possessions as they could gather.
And as they retreated, they looked back and cried sorrowfully, "Ha Loch Ness, ha Loch Ness. There is a leak in it now."
Shortly afterwards, the waters began to subside, but the priests were so annoyed with the people in the villages that they said, no, you will never be able to dive down into this loch and replace the stone in the well. You'll put something in this water to make sure you never do that. And he cast a few spells, and the beasts appeared in the water. In 1978, I saw a head and a neck above the water, just round the corner from the castle there.
And suddenly I saw a terrific disturbance in the middle of the bay, and then a great hump came up and went down again, and I was watching this, and after it had gone down, the water was flapping in the most peculiar way.
We were amazed to see a neck emerge, just this long neck moving towards the centre of the loch rather slowly, and the head and neck seemed to all one part.
It was daylight, and it was making its way across. The head like a horse. The head was going, no, it was going zigzag, like that, you see. It was a beast of some sort. It was the monster, all right.
I have some sonar contacts here which intrigue me. They are stronger than the fish that I know about here, and they are deeper, much, much deeper, in a loch where they see large things. And I find strong sonar contacts. Then perhaps we really ought to find out what they are.
The legend of Loch Ness began more than 1400 years ago, when, as the story goes, a saint commanded the beast to behave itself and get back into the water. Over the centuries, there's hardly a Scottish Highlander who hasn't seen strange things in the loch. It wasn't until the early 1930s, when this road was built, that the local myth caught on around the world. This photograph was front-page news in 1933, and what followed was a monster frenzy. The creature was even named Nessie. Loch Ness has never given up its secrets easily. Underwater visibility is nearly impossible. It's 23.5 miles long, roughly a mile wide, and deeper in places than parts of the Atlantic Ocean. This photograph was taken in 1934 by a London doctor. It showed what appears to be a head and a neck. 55 years and 4,000 sightings later, it's still the image most people know as the Loch Ness Monster.
If you look at the whole original print size, you will see that it's very small and that the waves around it are merely ripples.
Adrian Shine is what's called a limnologist. That's right, a limnologist. That is a person devoted to the scientific study of lake phenomena. He's tried for 15 years to unlock the secrets of Loch Ness.
There's no doubt that everybody would like to find a dinosaur in the 20th century. There's nothing wrong with everybody liking that, but those photographs are not actually adding up to one animal. I put it to you that if you look at those photographs, you will find them totally diverse, that you will find no relationship between any individual classic photograph and any other individual classic photograph. Interpretations have largely been the province of the non-scientist. Non-scientists have been able to devote time to this. There's nothing wrong with speculation, but in the 1980s we are in a more realistic era.
Using science, Shine set out to trap Nessie in October 1987. But trapping mythical monsters is one thing science isn't very good at. Operation Deep Scan. 24 boats, each equipped with a state-of-the-art fish finder, travelled in a row from shore to shore, end to end, back and forth, for 3 days, sending a sonar curtain into the water. All they got for the trouble were 3 unexplained sonar contacts.
It seems likely that these deep sonar contacts would be not air breathers. They would be, well, most likely, frankly, to be fish. It's conceivable that we're looking at a non-characteristic piece of behavior which would account for it being so rare. Loch Ness Monster sightings are not every day.
Last summer, Shine was at it again, this time with even more sophisticated equipment, including a remote-controlled submarine carrying television cameras capable of searching the bottom of the loch.
This is an eel. Come onto the screen. It's not really taking very much notice of us at the moment. Now, this is a good example of the fish which are in the loch. They all come from the sea.
Do you believe that you can prove conclusively that there is or there is not a monster down there?
All we can do is to look at the environment, to look at bits that we don't understand within it, things that seem out of place, and then pursue those particular questions until we have explanations. It is possible, of course, that something could elude us totally on that. And I wouldn't presume to disprove what people may want to believe. Actually, you don't kill myths with science anyway.
I think most people are seeing things that are not what the, quote, monster might be.
Robert Rhines, who saw the creature in 1972, exhibits a common characteristic among Nessie spotters. While others may have seen fiction, he saw fact.
What do you think they're seeing?
Well, there's a lot of artifact possible here. After boats have left, sometimes there are standing waves that can be as much as 4 or 5 inches high, and they look like a sea serpent, and there's no boats present. There are logs that float. There are other kinds of aberrations that people think are real. Ducks, for example, at a long distance. Somebody sees a neck and they say, oh, look, and assume that these long distances they're seeing it. But I'll tell you one thing. When you've seen really a massive hump in this loch, you know you've seen it.
And this is part of his proof. A photograph he took in 1972, he says, is a flipper. Coincidentally, it is remarkably similar to a plesiosaurus dinosaur fin. Another photograph he took in 1975, he says, is a head with nostril antennae.
I know. I saw a 22-foot back of something looking like the back of an elephant for about 5 minutes with what turned out to be 6 other witnesses. I photographed it. I have a little Super 8 thing showing a dot, which doesn't mean anything. We couldn't blow it up. But I know what I saw on the telescopes.
Now, I'm going to show you something now that you'll never have seen before.
Before he started taking tourists out on the loch for $8 a head, George Edwards didn't believe in monsters. Now, he has a more open mind.
It's a picture that I took on the 6th of June, 1986 at 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't sell them and I don't publish them. So ask yourself this, why should I forge it? Why should I show you something which I don't believe is a monster? At the end of the day, you can decide for yourselves. First question they normally ask you is, how many whiskies did you have at the time?
How many whiskies did you have at the time?
Very little, very little. Just 1 drink a day normally, you know, in my bucket.
I see. So you you're a believer in the monster.
Oh, undoubtedly, yes. Undoubtedly.
Is the most important thing. But then, of course, skeptics would say, well, look, you know, you make your business out of this monster. You know, the more you say you've seen it, the more photographs you have of something floating around there, the better it is for your business.
Of course, undoubtedly.
So you're not refuting it at all?
Oh, no, far from it.
So have you made any of it up?
What I'm telling you now?
Yeah, the monsters. Seeing these things.
No, there's definitely monsters in Loch Ness.
The Loch Ness Monster, the most famous of all the world's mysteries.
People that live here have learned the value of a good mystery. Last year, nearly 1 million tourists visited the area, Great Britain's 3rd largest tourist attraction, spending $250 million while they were at it. They're blown glass nesses, ceramic nesses, egg nesses, stuffed nesses, tartan nesses, sponge nesses, cartoon nesses, t-shirts, keychains, badges, hats, visors, and mugs with Nessie on them. Monster ice cream, monster drinks, smiling monsters, even a life-size monster.
Last night I had 2 beers and I was walking out to the parking lot and I saw the Loch Ness Monster.
You did not?
Yes, I did. He had 2 humps and big spines coming out. He was smoking a cigar.
I think it's a legend, and I think it has to be kept as such.
It's more fun to believe that it's there than to not believe it.
You can't prove a negative. We will never be able to say there is nothing there. Remember that this area is full of legends, myths, witchcraft, things that go back into time.
Altogether, over the years, I've had 16 sightings. The first one was when I was only about 10, in 1917, and I was out in the loch with my brother, fishing with a friend.